Hey, babe. I'm glad you made it back to my channel today. I hope you subscribe, so when it's time for you to come back, you know where to go. Now let me stop. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Wellness Wednesdays with Karen Bodied and Benny Beauty by Bree. Today, on this very well Wednesday, I'll be talking about some of the different types of water, and I don't want to necessarily suggest what type of water for you to drink, but you know, based on the information that's given, let you decide that for yourself. So I look naked. Let's get right into it. All right, so it's 4 different types of water I'm talking about. So we got spring water, you got purified water, you got distilled water, and alkaline water. So spring water, also known as artesian, I don't know if I'm saying that right, artesian water. So spring water typically comes from like springs, of course, underground sources of water. So spring water is water that does not come from the surface. It could be groundwater, well water, spring water, like from actual spring that you would see in nature, probably around some like type of hills or mountains or something like that. So that's what spring water comes from, right? So unless you live by actual spring where you can go get your water, like, you know, grab you a jar and just put it right there, it's gonna be bottled. So unless either that or you shopping with like a small business that sources their water directly from the spring, 9 times out of 10 your spring water is going to have gone through some type of filtration process. But that depends how much filtration, how much treatment it has experienced. It depends on the brand of water that you buy. So spring water is filtered to, if it's filtered to remove impurities like contaminants and metals and stuff like that, but it maintains the mineral content of the water. So one thing I want to know is something that I just like recently, and I'm still trying to engrave it in my brain now because it don't really stick for real, is that water is alive. Water is alive. It's alive. Like it composes what, 60-70% of our body. We're alive. It composes 60-70% of the earth. Everything that's alive requires water. So why would water itself not be alive? You know, so water is alive. So you don't want to be drinking no water that completely strips all the minerals from it, because now your water is dead. And it's like, what is it really doing for you? So that's just something to keep in your mind. Water is alive. So spring water is more than likely filtered to remove impurities but preserve the mineral content of the water. You want to try to look for spring water, if you're drinking spring water, that says like it's bottled at the source, because if the spring water is not bottled at the source, then they have to like transport it on like a truck or something like that. I was reading, and when they like transporting it, they chlorinate it. So, you know, that's adding more treatment, more chemicals to your water, and you're not supposed to be drinking chlorine and all these other types of chemicals. So you want to look for stuff like this, like bottled at the mountain source, stuff like that, where it's like, you know, where it's being bottled at. Or again, if you could find a small brand that sources their water directly from like natural places, or if you could access that for yourself, that's even better. So yeah, spring water contains the minerals that are needed in our body to help maintain like the salt water balance, to effectively hydrate you basically. So purified water. This is probably the most treated water, probably the worst water you could drink, if you ask me. If you ask most people, anybody that's not trying to profit off spring water will tell you, off purified water will tell you that purified water is trash, it's boo-boo. So purified water is the most treated type of water you could ever come into contact with. Whether it's through reverse osmosis, which is when they like push the water, apply pressure to the water through, and it goes through a semi-permeable membrane. So semi-permeable means that it only allows certain things through and not everything. So certain things go through, certain things don't. So they'll put it through a semi-permeable membrane and, you know, filter out all the potential contaminants like metals, toxins, stuff like that, and the minerals. So this water has no minerals. It's dead. And then since it's so treated, that treatment process, like the chlorination, deodorization, like, and I'm gonna read an excerpt from my handy dandy, you feel me? I'm gonna read an excerpt from at the end so y'all can see, like, it's toilet water, which is why I stopped drinking it. But anyways, all that chlorination, deodorization, all the treatment process they do to make that water pure, makes the water acidic. And you don't want your body to be acidic, because acidic environment breeds disease. Like, i.e., cancer, it comes from an acidic environment in your body. Like, if your body internal environment is balanced or more alkaline, then you're not gonna face certain diseases like that. But balance is key. So yeah. And then there's something also to note, that when it comes to purified water, there's certain like specifications that you have to have in order for your water to be considered pure. But all that is just creating a legal amount of pollution or a legal amount of toxins that's allowed to be in your water. Something that's in that book that I'm going to read later, there's no such thing as a safe amount of chemicals. So again, things to keep in mind. So yeah, purified water, all the minerals and all potential contaminants are removed. Spring water, contaminants are removed, minerals are preserved. Then you got distilled water. So distilled water is purified or filtered, treated, cleansed, whatever, through distillation, which is basically they boil the water, and like all the stuff that's in it is going to be left at the bottom, because it has a higher boiling point than water. So all that water will be vaporized, and then, like, as far as I know, distillation, they'll have some type of like ice or cooling thing at the top to convert that steam back to liquid, and the only thing that's left at the bottom of your pot or wherever your water is all the excess stuff. So this is, I would say, one of the purest forms of water. It also completely strips all potential contaminants and minerals. So again, it's kind of dead, but it's like the filtration process is a little cleaner, of course, depending on the source. It's a little cleaner than purified water, because it's just boiling versus adding chlorine, adding this to deodorize it, adding this, adding that. So oh, excuse me, oh god. So yeah, distilled water, completely void of minerals and potential contaminants. Again, your water is alive, so you want to keep that in mind. Water is alive. And then you got alkaline water. So alkaline water means that the pH of the water is higher than 7. So if you don't already know, the pH scale goes from 0 to 14. So 7 is neutral. Anything from 0 to 7, or I guess 6, is acid. Anything from 7 or 8 to 14 is alkaline. So alkaline water is supposed to have a pH above 7. And it gains its alkalinity from passing over springs, rocks, minerals. Like, they passing over rocks and they picking up the minerals and stuff from the rocks that they passing over, and that's what helps to increase the alkalinity. I saw some stuff on here that I was researching that you can make your own alkaline water with some baking soda. I don't know. I wouldn't do that, but to each his own. But yeah, with alkaline water, like I was saying earlier, you want to keep a balance. Like, you don't want to drink too much alkaline water, because, well, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. But for me personally, I can only speak for myself. Again, you can make your own conclusions, do your own research. But for me personally, every time I drink alkaline water, it makes me dizzy. So I don't drink alkaline water. But in general, too much of anything is not good for you. So I, based off experience, if you want to incorporate alkaline water, you want to like have like some spring water and alkaline water, or whatever your choice of water is, and alkaline water, versus all your water being alkaline, because there are certain spots and places in your body that are supposed to be acidic, like your stomach, for example, which honestly I feel like is what was making me dizzy. Like, your stomach environment is acidic. It's supposed to be acidic. And also the vagina, also supposed to be what? Supposed to be acidic. So if you constantly drinking alkaline water, that could throw off some stuff. So it might be helping one thing but not helping another. So again, you want to make sure you're maintaining your balance with stuff like that. So, and then most alkaline water that's available in stores has been through the process of electrolysis. So it's not as pure as, once again, you actually got access to an actual spring and that water's passing over the rocks and picking up those minerals naturally. These waters that are in stores be treated. And electrolysis is chemical decomposition produced by passing an electric current through liquid or solution containing ions. So they basically, electrolysis means to break down. So you basically breaking down or breaking apart the ions in the water through bypassing electrical current through the liquid. So yeah. And then most alkaline water on the store shelves is also purified water. So it's just a lot, because you could have a lot of different waters and stuff like that. But again, make your own judgment. So I want to read this excerpt from my book. Now this, y'all, of course, if you watch any other videos, you've seen me pull this book up. This book this is what I trust. Even regardless of how many sites I see online, I'm always going to check back here and see if what I can find is in here, because this book is not coming from a perspective of I can profit off of you economically, whereas everything online is. Like, I'm reading all this stuff, seeing all these, and I had read this before about water, which is how I knew purified water was not one of the things that you should be drinking. Everything I'm reading online, oh, purified water is the purest and safest and healthiest, and all these people that are saying this sell purified water. So again, economic perspective is gone. It addresses it, but it's not coming from an economic perspective, which is why I trust this book. So a couple things, I'm not going to read all of it. Nature's safe drinking water is found in springs, wells, and freshwater creeks. Water is the handmaiden of nutrition. It is a mixture of air, minerals, trace minerals, and vitamins. There's always foreign matter floating in water, which is essential to its proper digestion. This matter is usually filtered out by public water purifying works. Water is the main carrier of blood. It regulates body temperature and maintains the mineral salt balance of the blood. Nature's best drinking water is filtered over stones, sand, and plants as it flows in a stream. It is exposed to the sun and wind. The color, light rays of the sun and electrical forces of the wind create an atmospheric mixture. This mixture is healthier for the body than man-made public water, which is heavily polluted by our poison environment. Public water is chemicalized synthetic water, which contains bacteria that does not need air to grow. Some of the chemicals are aluminum, ammonia, fluoride, and bleach. So that's one part. Again, when he was saying the trace minerals and stuff that's in the water are needed for proper digestion, and how I was saying, like, with certain filtration processes, they remove all the minerals. Those minerals are actually what help keep you hydrated. So if you're drinking water that has no minerals in it, you're not even really doing anything for your body. It's just empty matter. Like, there's nothing in your water, so why are you drinking it? Another part, the unsafe public water has adjustable levels of acceptable pollution, which is set and reset by the Board of Health. The United Nations World Health Organization has classified public drinking water in all major American cities as polluted. So again, there's no safe amount of chemicals or pollution that could be in your water. So all these regulations on what's purified and what's not purified is awesome BS, because at the end of the day, how are you going to say, oh, it's safe enough for you to have this amount of chemicals, this amount of toxins? That doesn't even make any sense. Whenever spring water cannot be drunk, distilled spring water is the best substitute. If distilled water is not available, then boiled public water is the last alternative. Something I missed, which is why I just tweaked. Public drinking water is deodorized, recycled toilet water, and it's even a site if you want to go read it yourself. The Shocking Truth About Water by P.C. Bragg, and the Coming Water Famine by Jay Wright. I'm assuming those are books if you want to look them up yourself. So, public drinking water is deodorized, recycled toilet water. This is what made me stop drinking it. In addition to, I was just having a conversation with somebody, and the person I was talking to, he only drinks spring water, and I had purified water. And he was asking me, like, what's the difference between them? And I was saying, like, purified water goes through a whole lot of more processes to clean it. And he was just like, why they doing all that? That make it seem like it's something wrong with it. And I was just really sitting there thinking about it, like, damn, I'm drinking toilet water. And that's exactly what it is. It's toilet water. It's gross. But I think that was it. Oh, America has an overabundance of underground aqueducts, clean spring water. The multinational companies control them in order to create water scarcity and economic profit. So again, everything is based off money. I like reading that book because it says stuff like that. It tells you, like, they going for profit. They don't care about your health. So with all of that being said, of course, like I said, I'm just putting information out there to you to make the best decisions for what you feel like you need to be doing to hydrate your body properly. Spring water is typically filtered to remove contaminants, but still contains minerals. If you can get it fresh from a spring, that's even better. Purified water, the most treated water, all the contaminants, potential contaminants, and minerals are removed. Distilled water, the purification or filtration process is a little less like intense than purified water, but it also has all the potential contaminants and minerals removed. And alkaline water depends on where it comes from. That's just a whole different thing in its own aspect. But again, you want to be trying to drink water that has actual minerals in it. Water is alive. Like, you don't want to be drinking dead water. Your water is alive. So make sure you're drinking water that actually has minerals in it. And I guess any, insight, brands, it's kind of, iffy for me, because like I said, it's different. Everything differs. Filtration, sourcing, all that differs by brand. But I do drink spring water, and if I can't find spring water, I drink distilled water. I have not drank purified water in I don't know how long. That's like a worst case. Like, if I'm thirsty, I ain't had water in hours, and I don't have no access to no water, and somebody give me purified water, that's the only time I drink purified water. I do not drink that no more. And it was something else I was going to say. Oh my God. What was it? I was talking about the water that I drink. And I'll forget about it. If it was that important, I'll come back and add it in later. So yeah, again, do your own research as always. But just a little bit of information regarding the differences in water. Oh, the taste. That's what it was. So spring water and distilled water do have very, very, very different tastes than purified water. And I know that's what turns most people off. It turned me off at first, but you drink it for a couple of days, you're going to get used to it. So if that's your only concern, push past that. Because again, purified water don't have no minerals in it. That's empty matter you're putting in your body. It's not hydrating you. It's not doing anything for you because there's nothing in it. It's just there, literally. Like, there's no minerals in it. Water is already pure and barely anything as it is. If you strip all the minerals from it and you drinking it, what are you gaining from that? So I hope this helps somebody. If this was useful for you, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe, watch our other videos to help you move further in your wellness journey. And I hope you enjoy your Wednesday, baby. Enjoy your